Welcome back. Tell me, have you ever heard the phrase, "it's all in your head"? Surely you have. Now for a moment, I'd like for you to think back on all the times you've heard that phrase, and try to pick out one instance where it was said, and it actually helped someone. Go ahead. Pause the video if you'd like. So can you think of a time? I certainly can't. That phrase is so devious in its simplicity. It means turn away from your own mental state and focus on the physical reality around you. Focus on what you can see, touch, taste, and smell. Focus on what you can objectively measure. Focus on what you know to be true. And this isn't always bad advice. It can work to at least distract someone for a bit. That is, until they realize the obvious. That yes, the unwanted thoughts and emotions that they're experiencing are in fact in their head. They're in their brain. That's why they're affected by them. As humans, we experience many subjective things. Things that other people don't see. They have no way to do so. Yet these subjective things affect us, even when others don't notice. Sometimes they affect us in very negative ways, and it can be very painful. So, in moments of psychological distress, many people turn to distraction as a temporary escape. In this world, we are graced with a great many distractions. Our lives are a constant barrage of information through various forms of media, and it only seems to increase year after year. A new app, a new streaming platform, a new game system. We spend so much time jumping from one electronic device to another. We go from the smartphone to the computer to the television, and then back again. Our waking existence is a flood of activity from the outside, and we voluntarily subject ourselves to it. And even beyond the consumption of media, there are so many ways to distract oneself. Conversation, drugs, partying, arguments, sex. The list goes on and on. So is it any wonder that people spend their whole lives running away from what lies buried inside their minds? Is it not easier to build your life around avoiding and escaping your unwanted thoughts and emotions? It's all in your head, so just forget about it and keep moving. Now you might see where I'm going with this, and if you are one of those people that tend to distract themselves on a constant basis, don't worry. This section is for you. The practice of Tulpamancy is mentally focused. Everything that happens in the later sections will happen inside your mind. A tulpa is created in your mind, and it stays in your mind. After all, that's the place where your own consciousness exists. Also, you will interact with your tulpa in your mind, even if they are imposed into the real world. You may treat them as an external entity, but the exchange always truly happens inside your cranium. So, if you're not able to simply sit with your thoughts without being distracted, you will find a great deal of trouble maintaining contact with your tulpa. By this logic, getting comfortable with your mind and all of its thoughts and feelings is a good place to get started. Think of it as an introduction to more intense mental activities. Even if you feel completely capable of avoiding distraction, I would urge you to try it anyway. If nothing more, do this to prove it to yourself. Consider it a simple test. Pass it, and you can move on with confidence. You remember in the overview how I said there would be a goal at the end of each section. Well, this is it. It's a simple goal. The goal is to sit alone with your thoughts for 20 minutes without getting distracted and doing something else. That's all. Of course, this means that you cannot bring your phone. You should leave it in another room. The same is to be said of all other forms of electronic equipment. This includes MP3 players, smartwatches, Fitbits, etc., etc. During this time, you should not read anything either, even if it's a very good book. The thoughts you have should be your own, and should not come from an external source. You can have a clock if you wish, but if you find yourself staring at the seconds ticking by, you might want to avoid it instead. This should be done in a quiet, calm environment, wherever that may be for you. It should be free from distracting noise, visuals, and of course, other humans. During this time, you should simply sit and think. You are free to think about anything you want. You are free to think about nothing if you want. Just sit or stand and think. Now, I realize that I might be suggesting a form of torture for some. 20 minutes is about the length of a TV episode after all. You might feel like it's wasted time. But trust me, it's not. Baby steps, my novice Tulpamancers. Baby steps. If it seems to be too much at one time, then that's perfectly fine. Instead, focus on smaller increments. Try doing only 5 minutes, then step it up to 10 minutes, then 15 minutes, and so on. Challenge yourself. Go beyond the limits of your boredom. Now, let's get on to the exercises. Remember that these exercises are intended to be suggestions. In this case, they are suggestions for ways to be alone with your thoughts. You don't have to feel ecstatic while doing these exercises. You also don't have to feel like everyone is a somber, contemplative journey. All that's required is maintaining a mentally focused mindset and avoiding distraction. If you don't like one, try doing another one. And if you feel inclined, think up a new exercise along the same vein as these ones. If you are focusing on smaller increments, try doing one every other day as you work towards the goal. Exercise 1. Just sit. Find a quiet indoor room without distractions. It can be a bed, a closet, a basement, or any quiet room where you will not be disturbed. Put a pillow on the floor, or bring a chair into the room. Make sure you have no electronic devices nearby that may distract you. Sit comfortably and let your thoughts wander. Exercise 2. Take a long walk. Find a walking path or trail near where you live. It should be one that is relatively calm and isn't close to a lot of busy streets or shops. It doesn't have to be a nature trail, but that would be the most ideal. Plan a route along the trail that takes a good bit of time. Try for at least 10 minutes. Leave your phone or other electronic devices at home, or keep them turned off in your pocket. Then, go out and walk your route along the trail. Walk at a relaxed pace, with no hurry, and try to simply let your mind wander as you walk. Exercise 3. A long bath. If your bathroom has a bathtub, you can use it as a place to practice. It is not recommended to use a bathtub in a public area or at another person's house. Fill up the bathtub with water at whatever temperature you prefer. If you want, you can turn on a fan to produce white noise that drowns out other nearby sounds. Make sure to turn off your phone or any other electronic devices. Next, get into the tub and relax into a comfortable position. Then just stay there for as long as you feel you are able. Make sure to not fall asleep. Exercise 4. Try some sensory deprivation. Find a blindfold, or make one yourself using an old t-shirt or a piece of cloth. Get a pair of headphones and a portable audio device of your choice. For this exercise, one electronic device is allowable. Find a quiet indoor room where you will not be disturbed. Put a pillow on the floor, or bring a chair into the room. Next, load up some white noise on your device. You can easily find this by searching white noise on YouTube, Spotify, or SoundCloud. Sit down, put on your headphones, and then start playing the white noise. After that, tie on the blindfold securely. Make sure that no light seeps through. Try to wait out distracting thoughts instead of acting upon them.